Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I gotta sit there and say this was a very weird episode. It felt like, I don't know how to describe it, but it felt like it was like an in between episode. And I know it sounds weird because, like, it's in between the week, it's Wednesday or whatever, but like, it was just giving, like, all right, this is a middle point and everything's going to go to this middle point. Like, where you didn't really need to watch this episode. You could have just skipped it and just read a summary somewhere, and then just maybe watched like a little bit of Thursday and probably Friday. That's what it felt like. It literally felt like a middle of the week sort of episode where you didn't even have to be of attendance, which is weird. I don't like Smith saying that because in all reality, I feel like there was a point we had so many soap operas, and now we now have five, but before then we have four. you know, and doing these member streams and watching those stuff like Passions and trying to find ways to watch like As Another World Turns and God and Light and stuff like that. You realize just for the soap opera community how much soap they actually want to losing. So I'm not sitting there trying to encourage people not to watch these episodes, but like if you're really pressed for time, you don't need to watch it. Not encouraging people not to watch it, but Um, I gotta sit there and say, when Carly came in and was pretending to be Valentine's lawyer, I didn't even recognize her. Like, I really didn't even recognize her. I guess it wasn't just the hair, because I knew it was a wig, but like with the glasses, it seemed like it covered most of her features that you can clearly see Laura Wright. So off the bat, I'd sit there and give that disguise heavy props. Now, she goes to Valentine essentially to get his help to take down Jack. And they talk about why she wants to sit there and take down Jack. And it has a lot to do with, she tells her, hey, listen, Johnson's in WSB and he recruited her. And then Valentine goes into why and how. Like how she would be susceptible into being in the WSB. Because she lost someone, right? She's vulnerable. Then talks about Cyrus. And throughout the discussion, long story short, he kind of discovers that most likely Jocelyn might have had something to do with Valentine disappearing. And I mean, not Valentine, Cyrus disappearing. She gets upset. She's like, he turned my daughter into a killer. And Valentine's like, hey, listen, it might not have been her. It might have just been Jack, that took out Cyrus. Like, who knows? Now, the truth of the matter is, she still is going to have reason to being upset. But see, we as the audience know that in all reality, she was going after Cyrus regardless. Before, yeah, she was going after Cyrus on her own. It was only Jack that actually pointed her in the right direction, but she was already going after Cyrus, right? And my take from it is that she was already going after Cyrus. It was better for her to sit there and have backup, because Jack was there when Jocelyn confronted Cyrus. So I don't think he would have let it get that far where she was in danger. Um, But anyway, she wants to sit there and she's like, I may not be able to take Jocelyn out the WSB, but I can sit there and remove Jack from her life. And I don't really understand how she's gonna do it. I'm somewhat interested in it. I have my issues with Carly as far as like her trying to make it, her trying to be all upset with Jocelyn with Jack putting Jocelyn's life in danger when she's been putting her kids' lives in danger for about 20 something years. Since I've been watching the show, she has done nothing but put her kids' lives in danger because she put her feelings first before her kids' safety. So for me, I'm kind of just like, I'm not really with this whole. I'm angry at Jack for putting my daughter in danger when you've been doing the same shit for like 20 years. Like, I'm just not. I may understand why she's doing it, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I don't feel anything, you know? Now Lois comes to town, sees Sonny, and asks help bridging the gap between Brooklyn and Geo. And basically, Smith is saying, I just need you to get him to the room with me and for me to sit there and try to convince Geo that it was me, not Brooklyn, that set this whole thing in motion. And of course, Sonny's like, well, listen, I can do it. I can help you. But you need to be prepared for the simple fact that he may not actually be receptive. He may still sit there and give Brooklyn a cold shoulder. But she got to try anyway. Um, and at the diner, Ronnie's there telling Gio and Brooklyn about kicking out Tracy and spiking, being having her teeth spiked and everything. And Gio's like, good for you. You got to sit there and set boundaries, otherwise she'll sit there and step all over you. Also talks to Emma, and at the Emma was sitting there talking to Jocelyn, which I'm going to be honest, I am getting so sick and tired of Jocelyn trying to look out for Emma or trying to warn her, no, you need to sit there and get away from Dalton. You need to get away from Dalton. When every time she does that, all Emma does is sit there and act like a first class bitch to her. And I understand why on some level because she doesn't fully understand why Jocelyn did what she did. But I'm like, I'm just sick and tired of seeing those scenes. I really am. Because at this point, she ain't listened to you before. She hasn't listened to you. And I guess it's like, oh, I gotta sit there and try to be the good girl to help her out. No, effort. Listen, you tried more than once. She's been sitting there acting nasty to you. Effort. Let her do what she wants to do. You just focus on what you gotta do to take down Dawn. Because she ain't listening to you and all she's doing is giving you attitude. And I'm honestly telling you the truth, I'm just sick of it. Um but Emma does sit there and talk to Gio and basically says Anna is distracted right now. This is the perfect time to do it. Even though Gio's like, Dalton tighten up his security, it's going to be a lot more harder than you think. She still wants to do it. And Brooklyn is talking to Ronnie about Gio and the distance and how she's upset about that. And, Lois did sit there and talk about how she had a decent time, a decent day talking to Brooklyn. Haven't had it since, but, you know, is moving in the right direction. Which then when I go back to watching those scenes and talking about them talking about how she's upset and she's a little hurt about the distance, I'm like, it makes me less sympathetic. Because her mom is literally on screen and she wants to sit there and be close to Brooklyn, and Brooklyn's giving her the cold shoulder. So for me as the audience member watching that, it's like, how am I supposed to sit there and feel bad for the cold shoulder that Gio is giving to Brooklyn when she's doing the same thing to her own goddamn mother. But she has some sort of plan as far as, Outback being with Cody, because of some ridiculous ass rule about them not having dogs, even though they had Annabelle the third or the fourth there or something. And basically, Smith is saying if Outback is there, then Emma's there. If Emma's there, then Gio's there. Um, Whatever. Sonny calls Gio and it's like, I need you to sit there and come to the house after work. Lois is here and it's really important. I'm glad he didn't sit there and do the typical blindside him and just be like, oh, I parent trapped you in a sense. He did tell him, he's like, it's important. Um, he did his part. Now Nathan comes in to talk to Jack, and he says something about the line of like, I may help you, I may be able to help you with understanding your memories from 7 years ago. What he does is sit there and show him footage of him being in the car, having a phone conversation, and that's it. And then he pretty much says that he got his medical records, doesn't show any lesions in the brain, so there's no head trauma. So either you're lying about the last 7 years, you're working for Faison or something, and I'm going to charge you whatever. And, Nathan's like, listen, you can talk to Anna. She'll sit there and vouch for my character. And I don't like being pushed around. He walks out. And at some point, he does sit there and talk to Jack about the interaction. I don't remember exactly what else happened after that. I don't think it really goes anywhere. But Anna calls up, well, Anna has questions for Britt. And Britt has to sit there and call Liz and be like, hey, listen, I'm not trying to be late, but I got to answer questions of Anna. She had to sit there and do that because she's already on thin ice and she's on a probation period. So Anna comes in and basically is like, I'm going to charge you, well, I'm going to bill you for wasting our resources on, us trying to look into your death when you pretty much faked it. And she gives her this ridiculous bill and it's like, you can answer my questions. She's like, I want to know who you're working for. I want to know what you were doing at the Five Poppies, and that can go away. And the only thing that Britt gives her is that I was working for Pascal. And it's like, yeah, that's the middleman. I want to know who's your boss. Was it Faison? Is Faison still alive? And she pretty much, and she pretty much, she doesn't really give her any answers. She gets upset. She doesn't sit there and tell her what she was actually doing at the Five Poppies. And she's like, you know what, you can take that bill, you can sit there and shove it. Good luck, and if I get fired, it's your fault. And she walks out. So she didn't really get anything. But I figured I should sit there and say something. Now Tracy is woken up by Rocco and Charlotte talking really loud. And she's like, can y'all keep it down? Well, she yells at them. And, listen, that shit don't sit right with Charlotte, right? Because Lulu was like, you need to sit there and just kind of keep it down or whatever. And, when Charlotte's like, oh, you got kicked out or whatever, I'm not really too surprised. Like, giving, just pretty much kind of like giving her attitude back. And I was here for it. I'm like, when Rocco kind of got her out, Charlotte was like, yo, listen, she don't just get to move in here and start bossing us around, telling us what to do. Like, that entitled attitude, she can take that shit somewhere else. But Rocco's a little more sympathetic, saying that, she does have her nice moments. She's been through a lot. We need to give her a break, blah, 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 blah. Charlotte does sit there and tell Rocco that her dad said that Britt can't be trusted. You know, um, and then they hear like a moving truck. See, Lulu is not there basically telling Tracy, listen, I got two teenagers in the house. And although, yes, you do have kids running around the house, it's a lot more of a closed space. So if you can't handle that, maybe you need to sit there and go to a hotel. She talks about that, she's still upset at Ronnie kicking her out. And basically, Smith is saying that there's something wrong with this whole situation. That Monica never really talked about Ronnie, would not give the house to her, would most likely give the house to Michael. Now, I can see she also given the house to Jason. Lulu plays devil advocate and it's like, Michael's already set. He has money. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe she felt that Ronnie didn't have, didn't really have a lot. So, give her the house. Which, again, somebody sat there and said, like, the property tax alone would pretty much kill her finances. So, unless, you know, Tracy gave her money to sit there and pay for that stuff, The hell is the point of having a house? Now, it's somebody, well, no, I'm not even going to get to that, but, um, yeah. Also, again, Tracy's like, there's something off about that. And, listen, here's the thing. Tracy could be right that there's something off that, she set her up as far as drugging the tea or whatever. But the thing is, she played right into Ronnie's hands. She got her own family to sympathize with Ronnie because from get go, like Lulu said, you've been gunning for Ronnie since she got into town. So of course she's going to sit there and retaliate back, and she does own a house. And yeah, you may sit there and do that with us, and we just sit there and just love you and just take it, but she don't know you from a hole in the wall. So she had enough of your bullying, and she, set your ass straight. I think there's more to this, but I also feel like, am God damn, I wrote a damn book. I feel like that's about it, but I also feel like I'm missing something. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I'm missing something now. Um, two announcements I will sit there. You know what? No, one announcement. Maybe I'll sit there and give the announcement in tonight's stream. I'm guessing around 8:30 because I still have two more soaps to watch, and I feel like I'll be done around 8:30, 8:20. Um, but point is, for some people, they may know who this person is. Danny Bear 87. Now, I don't know what is going on with YouTube, but they wound up taking down her channel. Some sort of BS reason I'm not even going to sit there and get into. Um, I think after she gets done, like, just processing the whole thing, because she has been on YouTube for, I would sit there and say 12 years. And just like that, her channel's gone. And it sucks. Um, I did encourage her to sit there and get another channel. So when she does get another channel, I will sit there and let people know. I will post it in the community tab and in the description box and stuff like that, so y'all can sit there and check out our new channel. But yeah, if you've been looking for a channel and stuff like that, it's because YouTube took it down. I'll talk a little bit more about it tonight in tonight's stream, and we'll get into that. Anyway, and like I said, I'm guessing around 8:20. Take. Anyway, with that being said, I will sit there and post community tab. I will post in community tab what time I'm actually coming on tonight. And yeah, I'll see y'all tonight.